All right. So let's go ahead and finish up the story just about at the end, and we're still annotating the first part. So we noticed that mom and grandmom are both a little concerned. We're wondering why Lola hadn't drawn anything yet. How did your solving your problem go? They're asking, right? They're kind of asking about her internal conflict, her being nervous to talk with Mr. Meir. Went well though. Lola spent the rest of the night drawing the island. She started out with one page, but she needed more room, so she added another page, then another, and soon she had a book. She worked through dinner and she worked in bed and was just finishing the last touches on her cover when Abuela came in to check on her. Right? And notice here, there's these bats, the blanket bats again. Right? She's coming in to check on her because I think Grandma's still concerned about her granddaughter, wants her to be comfortable with her heritage and where the whole family's from. So she's concerned, being a great grandmother per usual, right? And my question is, what's going on with her bed? It seemed to transform into the island. What's going on here? All right. Abuela picked up a drawing of the final battle and she got really still. Hmm, I wonder why. Abuela didn't know about the monster. Of course, hija, what do you think so many of us here in the north? Lola put her arms around Abuela. You must have been so scared. Sometimes we were, her Abuela whispered, but we were also brave. And to be brave, it means that you've got to be internally brave. You've got to have your emotions and person under control. The next day, it snowed. Lola put on her scarf and boots and stuffed her assignment under her coat. Benedicion, mommy, benedicion, abuela, benedicion, hia. They both called good luck. Mr. Meir was pushing garbage cans against the curb. Thank you, Mr. Meir, slayer of monsters. He laughed. Good luck, Lola, daughter of heroes. Ooh, I notice a similarity in phrase. Slayer of monsters, daughter of heroes. Right? My question is, why is he so happy now? I wonder why, right? Internal conflict seems solved, resolved here, right? She kind of solved her internal problem, but they're still not sure, so they wish her good luck. So good luck with what's ahead of you, with your trials. All right, so that's internal conflict. In class, all the students were buzzing about their pictures. Nelson's mother had baked cupcakes for everyone, so it was like a little party. Mrs. Obi hung the drawings on the wall. Now our classroom has windows, she said. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. She's saying they're like windows into your homes. Oh, I love that. She said, anytime you have to look at one another's first homes, all you have to do is look out the windows. I love it so much. All right. Then Miss Obi reached Lola's desk. So how did it go, Lola? Were you able to remember anything? I tried really, really hard, but nothing came, and that made me feel bad. But then I realized that I don't have to feel bad because even if I never set foot on the island, it doesn't matter. The island is me. Nelson snorted. That is so corny. Is this kid going to get detention for this behavior? It is not, said Lola. Nelson, be nice, Miss Obi said. She and the other students gathered around Lola's desk. Nelson made sure he got really close so he could see everything. Lola suddenly got nervous, which is an internal conflict. Go ahead, Lola, show us. Okay, Lola said, taking a deep breath, and she opened her book. Oh, she's nervous, but let's see what happens. And out burst the island. And look, we've got the whale from earlier. We've got what could be a young abuela, right? We've got our internal conflict being solved. How do we know? Well, let's just look how overjoyed she is to share her metaphors and imagery with everyone else. Just so beautiful. And my question is, how are they? What is that monster? I'm still curious what that monster could be. I'm thinking. All right. So now that you've read it once, consider the text again while really focusing on the TDA prompt. All right, let's take a look at the prompt again. An internal conflict is a struggle, emotional, within a character, while an external conflict involves an outside force. It's physical. Analyze two internal conflicts and one external conflict in Islandborn and use the text to support your answer. So this time we're going to kind of skim through. And as we skim through this time, we're going to try and figure out what pages have easy, not easy, but like clear internal conflicts and clear external conflicts. And we're going to make those the ones that we analyze in our text dependent analysis. So this is the title page, not especially useful. This gives us a sense of what's going on, and we could talk about it as being a conflict, but it's not as clear as other parts. Here we have our problem, right? She doesn't like to raise her hand. She's nervous. She doesn't like to be forthcoming. Those are all clear internal conflicts. Plus, it's the beginning of the story and sets the main problem, her remembering the island. That one directly addresses the prompt and might set us up nicely, right? She keeps trying to remember, but she can't. That would work well too. So maybe an extra writing for that. Then we start solving the problem, right? Leticia tells her about the bats as big as blankets, right? On its way, not especially relevant to the TDA prompt. Same here. So now we got an internal conflict about memory and the tension of memory and a little bit of sadness, and you can see that little tear right there. So I think this does directly address the prompt. Plus, in this one, we have the old man being reluctant to talk about the monster from the island. So this directly applies as well. Internal conflict. How can we tell? His behavior, right? And the suggestion that um, the island isn't all positivity. There's some negativity people have to deal with, right? Mr. Meir, also a direct internal conflict. He causes it to her, and he seems to be having a conflict himself. Then Abuela, who's very helpful, but doesn't quite nail down an internal external conflict as easily as the other parts. So I'm going to make that in between. Right? This page is beautiful, but not a ton to do with the internal or external conflict. Here is a clear external conflict, right? This is the hurricane that blows like a wolf, right? So that is a physical problem. You're in physical danger. Don't play when it comes to hurricanes. So that directly addresses the TDA prompt. That would be perfect to write about for external conflict, right? She goes down to meet Mr. Mir. Let's turn this music down just a tick. Let's just turn it off for now. So she's very nervous about going to see him. You could certainly write about that being an internal conflict, right? And then he tells her about it. He gives her this background, but we're not sure whether the monster is like a literal physical threat or a metaphorical threat. So I keep that one in between. There's a very literal looking monster in the ocean there. Were you scared? Very scared? That's an internal conflict for sure, right? And then they show courage, which involves internal conflict as well. So this page is directly relevant to. And she leaves and thanks them. Not especially relevant to conflict. She hasn't written anything yet, so there's little bits of conflict that everyone's experiencing, but nothing so quite as clear as earlier. And she's drawing. Abuela comes to check on her. We find out that Abuela had also participated in fighting the monster and felt scared. It seems like things are resolving themselves. Good luck with your assignments, says Mr. Meir and Mom and Grandma. And then she has a run in with her classmate. Oh my gosh, Nelson, right? And then she is nervous, so she has an internal conflict. But then she reveals her drawing of the island, and out it bursts. Absolutely beautiful. Not especially relevant to the prompt, but beautiful. And for part 3, we're going to work on writing the essay together.